One of those days again. Yum. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to go through my November TBR. I'm so excited. We have books from multiple genres, as I like to do. This is going to be an ambitious list because the last 2 months I think I've only read 2 or 3 books a month, but I know I can be reading more if I just manage my time better. So this is going to set the tone. We have some big goals and I'm very excited. Off topic, last night I got to see Sabrina Carpenter in concert and got this cute shirt. Wait, I'll show you the back. So cute, love it. I do not go to concerts very often, so it was such a treat to be able to go. We got tickets very last minute and we were kind of in like an obstructed view area, but still had a great time. So just wanted to mention that because it was the best. Let's jump right into the video. I think I'm going to start with my nutrition coaching books first because they're probably more boring than the other books we'll talk about. There's only 2 of them, so let's get them out of the way. If you are new to my channel, I am an online fitness and nutrition coach for women. So of course I like to read books on that topic and just get better at my job. So I've mentioned these books before, at least one of them. First one is Motivational Interviewing. If you're a coach of any kind, teacher, mentor, this is a great book to read. I have gotten like 1/4 of the way through it, but I'm determined to finish it this month because I've had it for a long time. But it's essentially about, so motivational interviewing is finding motivation in your clients or whoever you're talking to by asking the right questions, because people respond really well to being asked the right questions rather than being told what to do. You kind of have to like dig out their internal motivations, because every time we have a goal, we are a little bit ambivalent about the goal, hence my reading goal. It's like we want the thing we say we want, the goal, but then there's also some obstacles in the way of other things we want. For example, I like to scroll on TikTok. Even though I want to be reading more, I also kind of want to be on TikTok. So I'm gonna read this one all the way through this month. That's my goal. I'm very excited because I think it will be helpful in my coaching. Okay, next up is The End of Overeating by David A. Kessler. So far let's see how many pages I'm in. I'm already 41 pages in on chapter 8. I'd like to finish this one this month. Just read these a bit faster. It's exactly like it sounds, overcoming overeating. So far it's talked a lot about food being processed in such a way that it is designed for us to overeat. So, you know, processed foods like chips and stuff, they have scientific teams that try and make them as highly palatable as possible so you have a harder time not overeating them and you eat more, buy more, that sort of thing. Really excited about that one too. Next up, let's do some self-help. I love self-help. If you don't know me, that was kind of my, into adulthood, that was like my reading hobby, was pretty much just self-help. But now, of course, I like fiction as well, but still love the self-help. So let's get into that. So I've mentioned this one before, How to Do the Work by Dr. Nicole LaPera. This book is also on Kindle Unlimited, but Dr. Nicole LaPera is the holistic psychologist on Instagram, if you've heard of her. This book is about doing the work, recognize your patterns, heal from your past, create yourself. I'm already 50% through this book. I've just been not having a great morning routine the last couple months, so I've really slowed down on reading it because that's typically when I like to read my self-help books. Determined to finish this one this month. I've been recommending this to everybody as I've been reading it. I think every human needs this. It's honestly like therapy in a book. And because she's a holistic psychologist, it involves, you know, multiple parts of you, mind, body, soul sort of a thing, which also will help me with my coaching because, again, I'm a holistic health coach and I like to, you know, learn as much about psychology and the human body and human behavior as I can. But highly recommend this one, especially if you're someone who wants to work on yourself and you, like, say, can't afford to hire a therapist or life coach. Doing some of the work on your own with a book is a great place to start. Next up, I saw this book everywhere for months. It just kind of kept popping up. And again, the last couple months, my morning routine's been off. A lot of my routines have been off. And I feel like I've been struggling a little mentally. So I thought it'd be a good time to read this book. It's called Don't Believe Everything You Think. There we go. By Joseph Wynn. And it's a pretty short read. Look how tiny that is. Let me see how many pages. Okay, it's like 120 pages. I already am aware that your thoughts determine a lot of the quality of your life because, you know, your thinking then determines your emotions and your emotions can determine your actions. Therefore, it's going to determine a lot of how happy you are within your life. So I want to buckle down, keep learning. Something about me that I have noticed is I'm always doing better mentally when I'm consistently reading a self-help book, and I think I just need to stick to routines a little bit better. So again, I'm gonna work on my morning routine, finish how to do the work, start this one, reading my self-help books in the morning, even like a page a day, okay? I'm very excited about this one. It's popped up everywhere and I've heard great things. This next one I've had for years, literally years, and same thing. This one isn't popping up online or in different places like that. It's just been popping into my head. Like randomly I just think of it. So I thought it's time. It's time to read it. And that is You Are a Badass at Making Money by Jen Sincero. So the very first self-help book I ever read was You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero, the yellow version of this one. And then obviously this one is specifically more so about making money and your relationship with money. So I'm very excited about this one. As I've been developing my self-awareness, I've noticed that I have probably some limiting beliefs around money, and I'm just really excited to get into this one. Her first one was very helpful and very eye-opening. Again, it was the first self-help book I ever read, so I imagine this one will have the same effect. And because it just keeps coming to mind consistently, I'm like, I think the universe is trying to tell me something. It's time to read it. So if any of you have read this, I'd be curious to know your thoughts. Very excited. Okay, let's move on to fiction, all the good stuff. First book that I want to read this month is Flawless by Elsie Silver. I'm gonna have to read it on my Kindle. I don't have to, but it's on Kindle Unlimited, so that's great. I already downloaded it. Me and another friend gifted this book to our other friend for her birthday because she loves to read, she's into romance, and it's a cowboy romance, which was right up her alley. But now we're all gonna try to read it together. So I don't know a ton about this. It's been recommended in multiple YouTube videos I watch. I do love cowboy, cowgirl, that sort of a thing. And I haven't read a romance in a while, so I'm looking forward to this one. Hopefully it's really good. It's about 400 pages. That's all I know about it. Something about me as well is sometimes I don't even care to read a synopsis or to know that much about a book. All I really need to know is like other people are recommending it and a very brief idea of what the book is, like cowboy romance. So sometimes that goes really well and things are a surprise. Sometimes it backfires and it's not really my kind of book, but we'll see. I'm very excited. Next up, the book I want to read is The Storied Life of AJ Foy. Again, I've heard good things about this on YouTube videos, watching BookTube. And then when I bought this at Barnes & Noble, the girl working at Barnes & Noble was saying, I'm gonna love this and I should have the tissues ready. And I do really love sad books. As long as they're like meaningful and like kind of uplifting in the end, that's the kind of sad I like. Deep and meaningful, not just like sad for no reason. This one's about an old man who owns a bookstore and the bookstore's like not doing that well. It says that an unexpected arrival gives him the chance to make his life over and see everything anew. This one also seems like a relatively quick read, less than 300 pages, like 258. And then I got this new bookmark that I'm using in this one and it's perfect. It says hot girls cry over fictional characters. It's hilarious. I'm gonna link the shop that I got this at below because I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think I can find it. So if you're interested, they have cute like stickers and bookmarks and stuff like that. So very excited. I haven't read a sad book in a minute. This is gonna be great. I bet. Next is In 5 Years by Rebecca Shirley, something like that. My friend recommended this one to me, my friend Haley. This one is about a woman who's kind of a type A person. She plans things out in her life. She ends up landing her dream job and like getting proposed to by her boyfriend. And then that night she goes to sleep and wakes up 5 years in the future in a completely different scenario. She's in a different apartment. She's engaged or married, I don't know, to a different man, and she spends 1 hour in this new place before she wakes up back where she was. So very interesting. I anticipate it's going to be like two alternatives of like where your choices lead you and what ends up being more important to you and that sort of a thing. Seems like it has really good reviews and also seems like it's going to be a book that has a deeper meaning, which I love. I love books that have philosophical, I don't know if that's a word I'd use, but they just have like deep life meanings and are kind of sentimental and sweet. So, and it's a good Morning America book club. Next up, I've had this book forever, and again, I've seen it all over BookTube. All the booktubers I watch seem to just love this book. Another romance. It's Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. I don't know a ton about this book, but it does, for some reason, seem like it'd be a good book to read around this time of year, like fallish into winter. Let's figure out what this is about, actually. So I only read half the back, but I do remember now that this is, I think, Friends to Lovers. Again, I don't need to know exactly what a book is about, just the general gist, and that other people are recommending it. This one's actually pretty thick, 400 pages. That's not bad. And it's so cute. Look at that cover. Love it. And I guess Christina Lauren is not one author, it's two women, Christina and Lauren. and they write books together, which is so cute and fun. Very last is Home Before Dark. So this is a carryover from last month. I talked about it in my last 2 book videos, but I read this. I think I started it day before Halloween or on Halloween, and now I'm not so sure if I'm in the mood for a haunted house horror. So Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. It's about a haunted house, and this girl's father dies, and she didn't realize he had kept their house. He still owns it, so it gets passed on to her, and then she goes in to flip it, and then some weird things start happening, and it's probably going to be haunted. We'll see what happens. I am on page 25, and it's not that I'm not having a good time, it's just that now that Halloween is over, I'm not as much in the mood for horror, you know, maybe horrored myself out. That sounds bad. But I do love spooky stories year round. Like, I have always loved horror and scary movies and scary stories, so I bet that will kick back in. So we'll see if I read this month, because I have already started it. There you have it. Well, guys, that is it for today's November TBR. I'd be curious to know your guys' thoughts on these books. Don't spoil them for me, but just if you like them or not. And hopefully we can read a majority of these. I believe in myself. I think we can do it. That's 10 books total. It's very ambitious. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.